Hello folks, welcome back to another video. It's me, Thunderbolt. Leave a like, subscribe, let's get right into it. These are the Universe Survival Saga final base power levels. These are the Universe Survival Saga top 5. And these are the real power levels of those top 5. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Dragon Ball Super Power Scale Manga Only Part 5. The BROLY saga. I've received a lot of new subscribers, so if you're a first time watcher, I hope you enjoy this video. If you want more context on where I'm getting most of the numbers from, I would highly recommend you to watch the series from the very beginning, starting from the Saiyan saga. Okay, all the power levels have been calculated, theorized, etc, 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 and we have now come to this point, the BROLY movie. We are finally here. Another thing you need to know about this series is that we use domination multipliers. What this basically means is that if you are 1.25 times stronger than your opponent, you can start to overwhelm them. Similarly, if you are 2 times stronger, you can tank their attacks unhurt. So for the BROLY movie, these are the multipliers that you need to know. Super Saiyan 50 times, Super Saiyan 200, Super Saiyan 3 300, Super Saiyan God 1500, Super Saiyan Blue 60,000, and the fusion dance formula as calculated earlier on is A plus A times 250, where A is the power level of the weaker individual. And in the Dragon Ball Super Power Scale, all the power levels are scaled down. Okay, so basically what we did was Goten at the start of Super had a power level of 15.7 billion, and we scaled it down to 1, and everyone else was scaled down accordingly. And I reveal the real power levels of the top 5 of every arc at the end of each video. In the manga, the first panel of the BROLY movie is this. It's basically just a recap thing, just telling you what happened, right? So Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta fought Super Saiyan Broly. That's all that they've mentioned, nothing else. But then later on we got 3 more panels where we see once again Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta fighting Super Saiyan Broly. We see Frieza in the back, we see Gogeta, and we see the Kamehameha that Gogeta does. And I've mentioned this previously as well, but in the manga continuity of the BROLY events, this fight takes place during the day while the ice is still intact. So like if you watch the movie, the ice has broken up and lava is spewing out everywhere by this point, but in the manga you can see that that did not happen. So we know that a legendary Super Saiyan's power keeps growing and growing and growing, and that's how BROLY was able to keep up with these guys, right? So how are we gonna do this? If you go back to the Tournament of Power video, we know that Kale's legendary Super Saiyan had 3 major boosts of 1.25 times during the Tournament of Power, right? BROLY on the other hand kept increasing his power level over time, and he was also actually learning how to fight. So keep in mind that he lacked proper ki control, so his power kept fluctuating, right? At points it was really high, at points it was low, and it was very weird. It was all over the place, which is why it was really difficult to do this video. Anyway, so just like Kale, I will also be translating BROLY's overall power growth into 4 boosts of 1.25. And there's a good chance that he got more boosts than that, but I chose the number 4 because there are 4 clear instances in the movie where he received significant boost in overall power, right? So this is the first boost when he is in his Ikari form, right? He grows in size, so that was the first boost. This is his second boost. This is right after he fights Golden Frieza, right before Gogeta appears. This is his third boost where he goes full power, right, and his hair turns green. And this is his 4th boost. It's an infamous shot. You must have seen this many times. So yeah, that was the 4th boost. So like I said, BROLY's power fluctuates a lot, right? Sometimes it's really high, sometimes it's really low. Sometimes he is weaker than what he's supposed to be, and sometimes he's stronger than what he's supposed to be. So it's very difficult to find out what his power level is, but I found a good way of, narrowing it down to the closest possible power level. So what I've done is, we know from the Tournament of Power that Vegeta was stronger than Goku, and I have every reason to believe that in this movie as well, Vegeta was stronger than Goku. Okay, so assume that base Vegeta has a power level of 1, right? Now we know that Super Saiyan God Vegeta is way stronger than base BROLY, right? But base BROLY is definitely stronger than Super Saiyan 2 upgraded Vegeta. For those who don't know, Super Saiyan 2 upgraded is a form that Vegeta unlocks in the Goku Black arc, and it's basically his version of Super Saiyan 3. It has the same multiplier that the Super Saiyan 3 has. So the fact that Vegeta went straight to God means that base Broly is stronger than Super Saiyan 2 upgraded but weaker than God, right? And then we also know that Ikari Broly, which is 10 times base Broly, because it's basically just the Great Ape power boost without the transformation, right? So 10 times base Broly, which is Ikari Broly, is stronger than Super Saiyan God Vegeta because he tanked a punch from Super Saiyan God Vegeta, right? But we know that he's weaker than Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. But then we also know that when Broly turns Super Saiyan, he is stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta because he is fighting Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and Super Saiyan Blue Goku at the same time. If he's stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and Vegeta is stronger than Goku, obviously he is stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Goku as well, right? So basically base Broly into 50 times for the Super Saiyan transformation into 1.25 because he had already received his first boost of power by then is stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Right. So thanks to this third condition, we have narrowed it down to the fact that base Broly is somewhere in between 960 and 1500. Then over here, we know that Super Saiyan Broly with his first boost, according to domination multipliers, is definitely more than 1.25 times stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta because he's fighting both Blue Vegeta and Blue Goku at the same time. Right, so him being only 1.25 times stronger than base Vegeta, 1.25 times means start to overwhelm. It's not start to overwhelm. He's like clearly more than that. So we know that Super Saiyan Broly with the first boost is more than 1.25 times stronger, right? But I think he's less than equal to 1.5 times strong, right? So why did I choose 1.5 and not 1.75? Right, because 1.75 means domination, and that's exactly what he was doing, right? So the reason I chose 1.5 is because since Vegeta is stronger than Goku, obviously Broly would be dominating Goku, right? And Goku at that point was already weak, so he did not have to pay that much attention to Goku's attacks. But at the same time, it was easy for him to overwhelm Vegeta. And what is easy to overwhelm? 1.5. So we know that Super Saiyan Broly with the boost is somewhere in between 1.25 times stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and 1.5 times stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. He falls somewhere in between, right? At the very max, he's equal to 1.5 times stronger. So doing the math, we know that he falls somewhere in between 75,000 and 90,000, and at the very max he can be 90,000. So thanks to this, we get that base Broly is somewhere in between 1200 and 1440, and at the very max he can have a power level of 1440. This nicely narrows down our earlier condition of base Broly being in between 960 and 1500. So 1500 has now reduced to 1440, 960 has increased to 1200. So now it's narrowed it down. Now we have even a better idea of where base Broly's power is. Now let's solidify exactly what his power level is, right? So we know that Super Saiyan God Vegeta is definitely more than 1.25 times stronger than base Broly, right? Has to be. But I believe that he is also weaker than or equal to 1.5 times base Broly. Now, why is it not 1.75? Because he clearly punched him through like a bunch of mountains, and that's called domination. We know that he cannot tank his attack because he blocks it here. So it's pretty obvious that he's 1.75 times stronger, not 1.5 times. So why have I chosen 1.5 times here? That's because if I choose 1.75 times, that is not going to align with the other conditions that we have back here and here. So based on the previous conditions, we know that Super Saiyan God Vegeta falls somewhere in between 1.5 times base Broly and 1.25 times base Broly. From this, we get base Broly is somewhere in between 1000 and 1200. But we already know that base Broly is greater than 1200. So the only acceptable answer is that base Broly equals to 1200. And since we had assumed that base Vegeta's power level is 1, that means base Broly is 1200 times stronger than base Vegeta in the Broly movie. And that is how we find out what base Broly's power level is. So now before we get into the actual numbers, points to note. Broly is not a trained fighter. He's figuring things out as they go. Even Vegeta confirms it. He's learning as he fights. Right? Number 2. Broly has no proper ki control, which explains why in some places the domination multipliers don't work. Right? So in this movie, domination multipliers are not gonna work as well as you want them to. And his ki goes high and low as it pleases. It fluctuates all the time. Number 3. In places where Broly is much stronger than Goku and Vegeta, their combat ability is what makes them stand a chance. Combat ability isn't connected to power level. This is mentioned by Toppo. Toppo says that in terms of combat ability alone, Jiren is superior to Belmod, the god of destruction. But Belmod most probably has a higher power level than Jiren. Okay, let's get started. So, for this arc to make sense, we have to assume that Goku became stronger and Vegeta became weaker. This is because their power levels need to be close to each other. The reason why they have to be close to each other is because Gogeta happens, right? And we'll talk about that when we get there. So, since Vegeta was 2.5 times stronger than Goku in the previous arc, we have to make him at least 1.5 times weaker, because simply making him 1.25 times weaker would not be enough. So by making Vegeta 1.5 times weaker, we have his power level go down from 34,539 to 23,026. And an in-universe explanation as to why he became weaker is because at the end of the Tournament of Power, Bulma was angry at him for promising 17 a ship. On top of that, in the manga, Bulla or Bra is just born moments before the tournament starts, so it makes sense for Vegeta to want to take care of her for some time. And I'm pretty sure it's been about like a month or 2 since the tournament ended. I know narratively it doesn't make sense for Vegeta to become weaker because, you know, he just fought in a tournament with overwhelmingly strong opponents and Frieza is on his mind. But I think what happened is he did the tournament, he was amazed by the strong people, but then he decided to take care of his daughter, right? And while he's taking care of his daughter, he knows that he's getting weaker and he compared himself to Frieza. He's like, damn, here I am getting weaker while Frieza out there is getting stronger at a rapid rate. And that is what leads to the beginning of the Broly movie, where he finally asks Goku to train with him, and they're training, and that is when Whis asks Vegeta, why are you seeking strength? And Vegeta replies with, it's cause of Frieza. So that makes sense to me. And I made Goku 1.375 times stronger. Why did I make him 1.375 times stronger? So like I said, we have to assume that Goku and Vegeta's power levels are close to each other, right? Similar to Vegeta, how we could not make him 1.25 times weaker because it's not enough. I don't think it's enough to make Goku 1.25 times stronger. He needs to be even more stronger. But making him 1.5 times stronger would be too much. Because if you look at any person, right, any bodybuilder, any guy who goes to the gym, you become weaker faster than you become stronger, right? So if Vegeta became 1.5 times weaker, Goku becoming faster at that exact same rate is weird. It's strange. So what I did was, I know that Goku became stronger somewhere in between 1.25 times and 1.5. So the average of the two is 1.375, which is why I made Goku 1.375 times stronger. That brings his power level to be 18,888. So right now, Vegeta is 1.22 times stronger than Goku, and their power levels are pretty close to each other. Great. This works out perfectly. So let's begin with the movie. Alright, so we know that Super Saiyan God Vegeta completely demolishes base Broly. So, like I said, base Broly is probably stronger than Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta upgraded. Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta upgraded has a power level of 6.9 million. We had deduced that Broly's power level has to be 1200 times base Vegeta, which brings Broly's power level to 27.6 million. So, Broly is 4 times stronger than Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta upgraded, so it makes sense why Vegeta went Super Saiyan God, because Super Saiyan God is 5 times stronger than Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta upgraded. So funnily enough, this makes base Broly exactly as strong as Saiyan Beyond God Vegeta. And for those who have not seen the Resurrection F video, yes, Saiyan Beyond God is a form that exists in the manga. But now we have a problem here. The problem is that Super Saiyan God Vegeta was only 1.25 times stronger than base Broly. But how do you explain this then? because 1.25 times according to domination multipliers means start to overwhelm, right? This is clearly domination. This is like, this at the very minimum, this is easy to overwhelm. So we go back to the 3 points, right? Vegeta has much better combat ability, and base Broly has not unleashed his entire potential yet at this point. So his power is still growing. He has not gone to his full base power yet. Broly is still using only a percentage of his full base power. On top of that, his power levels keep fluctuating, right? So this explains why at that moment Super Saiyan God Vegeta was so much stronger and had so much of an advantage. But if Broly was fighting at his full base power, Super Saiyan God Vegeta would only be 1.25 times stronger. So Super Saiyan God Vegeta has a power level of 34.5 million, and Broly transforms into his Ikari state or the Wrath state, which is basically just the power of the Great Ape in his regular Saiyan body. So Ikari Broly is Broly's base power times 10, which comes out to be 276 million. So Ikari Broly is 8 times stronger than Super Saiyan God Vegeta, which explains how he can tank this attack. To tank attacks, you need to be a minimum of 2 times stronger, so this makes sense. After that, Broly got his first boost in power. He grew in size here. This is his first boost. As mentioned earlier, every boost is 1.25 times. So Ikari Broly first boost has a power level of 345 million, and we know that Super Saiyan God Goku would come out to be 28 million. So Ikari Broly first boost is approximately 12 times stronger than Super Saiyan God Goku. So the raw key manipulation makes perfect sense. According to domination multipliers, if you want to perform raw key manipulation, you need to be at the very minimum 2.25 times stronger than the opponent. And over here, Goku binds Broly in his God Bind attack, and Broly completely reverses that attack onto Goku. It's proper raw key manipulation. And Ikari Broly first boost being 12 times stronger makes a lot of sense considering what happens to Goku later. So yeah. After that, Goku transforms into Super Saiyan Blue. Now Super Saiyan Blue Goku has a power level of 1.1 billion, and that makes Super Saiyan Blue Goku 3.28 times stronger than Ikari Broly first boost. This explains how none of Broly's key attacks, the small ones as well as the large one, do anything to Goku, because like he goes right through them. And that's also how Frieza knew that the fight was basically over. And remember, at this point, Goku thinks Broly is a good guy, so he does not want to hurt him that much. Which is why even though he's 3.28 times stronger, he's still being very careful while fighting Broly. And then of course Frieza had the grand idea of angering Broly, and Broly transformed into a Super Saiyan. So he still has his first boost, but he is not using the Ikari state anymore. So it's basically base Broly into 50 for Super Saiyan times 1.25 for the first boost, and that brings his power level to be 1.7 billion. And Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta has a power level of 1.38 billion. So that means Super Saiyan Broly first boost is 1.25 times stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and 1.5 times stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Goku. How this makes sense is that Goku is already weak. Since Goku is weak, Broly is being able to dominate him. Not just dominate, more or less tank his attacks, right? He is way stronger than Goku at this point because Goku is weakened. So the only real person that Broly had to focus on was Vegeta. And we know that at this point he is in Super Saiyan, right? And he is completely blinded by rage. So his power levels are fluctuating even more. So it makes sense that this 1.25 is like 1.5, it could be 1.75, it could be anything at this point, right? But we are only going by the first boost. So just assume that his power level is somewhere here, right? This is the closest we can come to figuring out what Broly's power level was. So it makes sense. He is not paying attention to Goku. He's only paying attention to Vegeta, and his power levels are fluctuating. So probably at this point, because of the Super Saiyan transformation being fresh in his brain, his power level has spiked a lot, right? Because of which he's also being able to fight Vegeta. So anyway, Goku and Vegeta then left to learn how to do fusion, right? And at that time, Super Saiyan Broly first boost was fighting Golden Frieza, and he fought Golden Frieza for a full hour. So it makes perfect sense that he is 1.75 times stronger than Golden Frieza, because that entire hour he was dominating Golden Frieza. But the fact that Golden Frieza, did not get mortally wounded or like seriously damaged, the fact that Golden Frieza did not come close to death basically confirms that one, Frieza has a lot of durability, which we have seen before, And 2, Super Saiyan Broly first boost is exactly 1.75 times stronger. So doing the math, we find out that Golden Frieza now has a power level of 986.8 million, which means he has become 1.33 times stronger since the Tournament of Power, which is a very fair growth. Things are finally starting to make more sense and line up now, which is great. Then Broly received his second boost, so giving him another 1.25 times boost. Super Saiyan Broly's second boost comes out to be 2.1 billion. And then we have Gogeta. Now, the fusion dance formula is A plus A times 250, where A is the power level of the weaker individual. We know that Goku is the weaker individual, so Gogeta's power level comes out to be 9.4 million. So, Super Saiyan Gogeta comes out to be 472 million. Super Saiyan Gogeta fights Super Saiyan Broly second boost, right? But Super Saiyan Broly second boost is 4.6 times stronger than Super Saiyan Gogeta. Yes, folks, Super Saiyan Broly was stronger than Super Saiyan Gogeta, okay? But don't worry, don't get mad at me, it will make sense, I promise you. Here's the thing, Gogeta does not want to diffuse like Vegito, right? Which is why he is limiting his power as much as possible. On top of that, even though Broly is 4.6 times stronger, Gogeta has way better combat ability. So Gogeta's combat ability is giving him the advantage in the fight. But because Broly is 4.6 times stronger, large moves like Stardust Fall are not doing anything to Broly, right? All Gogeta can really do is push aside Broly's attacks and land his own attacks. That's what Gogeta is hoping for. And of course, Broly's fluctuating power levels aren't exactly making this easy. And then Broly got a third boost. He boosted once again and went into his legendary Super Saiyan form. So we give him another 1.25 times boost. So legendary Super Saiyan Broly with a third boost comes out to be 2.6 billion. So now Gogeta already knows that Broly is growing in power while they fight, right? Broly is becoming a better fighter, his power levels keep increasing, so on and so forth, right? But now, the moment Gogeta saw the green hair, Gogeta realized that Broly is the legendary Super Saiyan because Goku and Vegeta have seen Kale before in the Tournament of Power. They know what Kale was capable of. Kale's base power was not low, but it was certainly much lower compared to Broly's, right? So they know what a legendary Super Saiyan is capable of. The moment they saw that green hair, Gogeta is like, okay, this guy is just gonna keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I need to end this immediately. And Gogeta went blue straight up, right? To end things, he just went straight to blue. So, Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta has a power level of 566 billion. Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta is 210 times stronger than legendary Super Saiyan Broly with the third boost. I know, it's really funny, he is that much stronger. And then, Broly undergoes a fourth boost, right? And his power shoots up to 3.3 billion. But that's exactly why Gogeta went Super Saiyan Blue. Because even if Broly gets another power boost, Gogeta will still be stronger. Gogeta has gone blue to widen the gap between him and Broly so much that it will take a long time for Broly to catch up to that power level, and before then Gogeta hopes to end things. And with this fourth boost, Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta was still 168 times stronger than Broly. And that is the highest power level that we have seen Broly reach, and that was the end of the movie. These are the Broly Saga final base power levels. Broly in first place at 27.6 million. 100% Frieza, not Golden Frieza, his normal base form Frieza is at 9.8 million. Gogeta is at 9.4 million. Vegeta in 4th place at 23,000 and Goku in 5th place at 18,888. And here are the Broly Saga top 5. Obviously, Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta in 1st place with a whopping 566.6 billion. Legendary Super Saiyan Broly with his 4th boost in 2nd place at 3.3 billion. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta in 3rd place at 1.3 billion. Super Saiyan Blue Goku in 4th place at 1.1 billion and Golden Frieza in 5th place at 986.8 million. And these are the real power levels of the top 5. Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta has a power level of 8.9 quintillion. Legendary Super Saiyan Broly with his 4th boost has a power level of 53 quadrillion. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta is at 21.8 quadrillion. Super Saiyan Blue Goku is at 17.9 quadrillion, and Golden Frieza is at 15.5 quadrillion. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I've been Thunderbolt. Leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.